The Montana Association for the Blind was formed in 1945 to work for the social and economic improvement of every blind person in the state. Blindness. This is a condition that may strike people at any age, from birth to the end of their lives. 1 person in 2,000 is or becomes totally blind, 1 in 500 legally blind, and in every 100 persons, 1 is or will suffer significant visual impairment. The association is a private, non-profit consumer organization whose membership is composed largely of blind and visually impaired Montanans and their friends. The board, shown meeting here, is made up of officers and directors from all parts of the state. An annual meeting is held each summer, at which time the business of the association is conducted. Some of the legislative accomplishments have been passage of a white cane law, non-driver ID cards, and work for funding for visual services and library services. A highlight of this meeting is the banquet. Blind people and their friends meet and renew acquaintances. A scholarship fund to assist blind college students was established about 10 years ago, and the winner is announced at the banquet. Establishment of a memorial loan fund and support of low vision clinics in Helena and Billings are other important achievements of the Montana Association for the Blind. The major project of the Montana Association for the Blind is the Summer Orientation Program for the Blind and Partially Sighted. Held every summer since 1948 on the Montana State University campus, the program is designed to help people with failing eyesight acquire the skills and attitudes that will enable them to remain independent and self-reliant. Visually impaired Montanans are eligible to attend the month-long school at no cost to themselves for room, board, or instruction. The 1985 director of the program, himself blind, makes announcements to the students at coffee break. Major causes of blindness include accidents, diabetes, glaucoma, macular degeneration, and other diseases. This young lady, blinded in an automobile accident, is learning to use a white cane so that she can travel independently. Orientation and mobility training, known familiarly as O&M, is an important part of the curriculum. Pat needed a support cane as well as a cane for seeing, and the instructor is helping him develop this technique. Tim uses a dog guide, Irish, and here the two are working together under the O&M instructor's guidance to improve their cooperation. Braille instruction begins with the use of pegs that fit into holes in wooden blocks. After the student masters the combinations that denote the various letters, he or she moves on to reading and writing raised dots on paper. The students have the opportunity to try various mechanical aids, including special lenses, talking calculators, and closed-circuit TV devices that magnify and project material onto a screen. Arthur is puzzling over an article he wants to read. Taking advantage of a free period, Grace is trying to balance her checkbook. Independence is a goal of all the students, and cooking is a popular class as they learn techniques to help them in the kitchen. Gladys and Irma are preparing a dessert. Cleanup is important too. Touch typing is a useful skill. Elsa finds that age 89 is no barrier to learning. Ethan and Dan concentrate on typing too. Calculations can be done with the abacus if you know how to use it. Anne is trying it out while John relaxes. Shop classes are taken by many students. Instructor Stu shows Dan and John how to operate a click-stop rule. The rule is useful in setting the guide on a table saw. Bertha is sanding her stool, while Paul works at the drill press. Robert has multiple sclerosis and is confined to a wheelchair. He is proudly showing the rolling pin he made. Cribbage boards are a popular shop item. Russell is laying out the pattern on his. Carefully holding the chisel, John is hollowing out his bowl on the lathe. Craft classes teach dexterity, confidence, and enjoyable hobbies that relieve stress. Shirley, blind since birth, is making a poodle. More dogs, crochet, leatherwork, sculpture, Christmas crafts, wall decorations, and more were enjoyed by many of the students. But summer school is not all work. The Bozeman Lions Club hosts a picnic each year, a highlight of the session. In the recreation room, Wendell entertained at the piano, as did a number of others. Sometimes a quiet talk with another person sharing the same problem helps most of all. Birthdays are celebrated. And in the 1986 school, a kitchen band was formed that played with and without an invitation at all functions. Some of the 1986 summer school staff meet for a consultation, while Dell, a student in 1985 and hostess in 1986, enjoys a rare moment of relaxation. The 1986 session included a graduation ceremony in which Dan spoke from a student's point of view. Betty received a diploma and congratulations from Beverly, one of the co-directors. Family Day is an important conclusion for the summer school. Relatives and friends are invited to see the achievements of the students and receive some orientation themselves. Rich is going to serve as sighted guide for Karen, who will experience some of the problems of the blind. During the year, local chapters of the MAB in many parts of the state meet monthly to share information, solutions, and fellowship. As in every endeavor, money is necessary to make this possible. The Montana Association for the Blind operates on earnings from investments made with bequests, a White Cane Tag Day sale in Lewistown, United Way help in Great Falls and Bozeman, gifts from Lions clubs and other groups, and the annual calendar sale. Members and friends around the state participate, and approximately 25% of the cost of the summer school is raised each year in this way. The Montana Association for the Blind is a consumer advocate and help group for people with visual problems, for yourself, your family members, and your friends. For further information, call 755-6913 or write Box 536, Kalispell, Montana, 59901.
Blindness or failing eyesight doesn't have to mean a loss of independence. Thanks to a program sponsored by the Montana Association for the Blind, visually impaired residents of Montana can receive free training this summer at the Montana State University campus. If you or someone you know wishes to attend the summer orientation program, please write to the Montana Association for the Blind, Box 536, Kalispell, Montana 59903, or call 1-755-6913.
The pedestrian, simple enough for most drivers to see. As for me, I depend on your courtesy to cross the street safely.
The white cane law in Montana states that drivers and pedestrians must immediately stop before proceeding to avoid injury or accidents to persons carrying a white cane.
Here's where your driving skills really count. Honking your horn will only confuse me. Now I can use your assistance. You can help by telling me about obstructions such as bicycles or skateboards on the sidewalk.
Respect this pedestrian's right to travel independently. Your consideration makes travel safer for them.
Whether in busy downtown traffic or on a shady lane, I appreciate your thoughtfulness. And besides, it's the law. Remember, you too are only temporarily able-bodied.
Hello, my name is Ron Warpness. I'm one of 6 educational consultants with the visually handicapped through the State Department of Education. I also have the distinct pleasure and honor of being the director of the Lions Summer School for the Visually Handicapped. This video recording is intended to help the many visually handicapped adults and children across Wyoming see how beneficial this program can be to them. When you're visually handicapped, you need all the help that you can get.
This production is dedicated to the hundreds of individuals over the years that have given their time, interest, and resources to make the camp what it is today. The Wyoming Summer School is jointly sponsored by all the Lions Clubs of Wyoming and the Wyoming State Department of Education. Basically, the Lions provide the facility, food, and materials, while the Department of Education provides the staff, organization, and students. The camp is free to all eligible Wyoming residents and usually starts after the 4th of July weekend each year. It is divided into 2 sections, with the first week of camp for children ages 9 to 16 and the last 2 weeks of camp for adults ages 16 to 80. I think that a little history might help set the stage and be of interest to you. In the summer of 1928, under the leadership of Stacy Boyer, Paul Cody, Kelly Walsh, and other dedicated Lions, several buildings were constructed on the site of the present camp, 11 miles outside of Casper on Casper Mountain. At 8,000 feet elevation, a more beautiful setting could not have been found. The original purpose of the camp was not for the blind, but to give needy children a nutritional shot in the arm. At that time, it was called a milk camp. Then in 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps constructed 4 new buildings: the beautiful Recreation Hall, now known as Boyer Hall, 2 cabins, and a shower house. In 1946, the purpose of the camp was changed to that of a camp for the blind and became known as the Allen H. Stewart Camp for the Blind. Since 1950, the summer camp has been directed by a member of the Department of Education. Subsequent to those early beginnings, there have been many changes at camp, but 2 things have not changed: the faithfulness of the Wyoming Lions and the support and leadership of the Department of Education. The cooperation of these 2 very different entities has resulted in a remarkable resource for the visually handicapped of Wyoming. Before the students arrive, the necessities of camp are carried into our modern kitchen and dining room. This building is called Shumway Hall, after H. Smith Shumway, who directed camp from 1955 until 1979. With the dawning of the day comes the ringing of the wake-up bell to get the camp up and ready for the flag raising ceremony and breakfast. This is a voluntary ceremony where we post the flag, pledge allegiance, sing a song, and have a prayer at the beginning of each day. The students may volunteer to do these different parts of the ceremony and are taught proper respect and even how to fold the flag. After breakfast, the students are free to do whatever they want until first period class, even if it means helping with the dishes. First period class starts a little after 8 and consists of one of the many subjects that are offered at camp. Each student has the opportunity to pick several classes that will meet their individual needs and interest. It may be a nature class under the trees, or a hike on the world-famous Braille Trail. Or it could be getting some work done in our own up-to-date computer lab. This summer we had 5 freestanding computer stations that were capable of Braille input with either print output or Braille output, typing normal print input, and having the output in Braille, large print, or synthetic speech. This is the very latest in technology for the blind. Now the computer is apparently telling you what letter is coming down, Valerie, is that correct?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, you're getting pretty good at it, I'll tell you what.
This is a typing game to improve our speed.
Right. Uh-huh. And it's the same game that a sighted student would use,
Yes.
except it has these synthetic speech. Yeah. We do a lot of work in the craft area. crafts help to develop tactile sensitivity, as well as giving a person a feeling of confidence and accomplishment, as some of our most beautiful items are produced by the totally blind. It may also turn out to be a nice present for someone special, as well as the opportunity to develop lasting friendships. Much time is spent getting to know each other as you work on a project. We teach Braille to first-time students, as well as brushing up on the skills of seasoned veterans. This includes the use of the Perkins Brailler, the Slayton stylus, and even the use of the high-tech pocket Braille. To sharpen our skills in this area, we also teach a class in creative writing for those that are interested. Music is one of our most popular classes, with 2 full-time instructors being kept busy in numerous instrumental as well as vocal areas. These 2 highly qualified staff also are very involved in the fun activities of camp. Orientation and mobility is a very important class at camp. This is instruction in the use of the long cane so that a visually impaired person can learn how to get around and be as independent as possible. It takes a lot of courage and hard work, but the rewards are great. One of the great strengths of camp is our ability to expose our students to the latest in high technology in the field of work for the blind, as well as a large collection of low vision aids and appliances. The staff working with this equipment are the finest educators in the field of work for the visually handicapped. These educators come from the Nebraska School for the Blind, the North Dakota School for the Blind, Utah, Wyoming schools, and the Wyoming Department of Education. We also have dealer representatives come and share with us the technical details of this equipment. It is a tremendous opportunity for the visually handicapped and different rehabilitation and educational professionals in Wyoming to have hands-on experience with equipment that they have only seen on TV or heard about by word of mouth. It's what again?
We're doing all that means the left brackets, right braces,
The machine I'm using here, I assume that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Is the Opticon,
Okay.
which I guess you could say stands for optical to tactile converter, or in other words, it converts what can only be seen to something that can be felt. So this is a small camera, and I can run it over this page of print, and it actually converts the print that it sees into a vibrating shape that I feel with my left hand on this other, on the little vibrating pad over here. This is called the Braille and Speak.
I see.
Basically a little word processor for the blind. It uses Braille keys, and you can type into it in Braille, and then it will speak back to you what you have typed, and you can keep notes or addresses or whatever you may want in there.
Another, and probably the greatest strength of camp, is the opportunity to come together and spend time with others who are trying to deal with the same handicap that you are. The sighted family member, no matter how much they may love you, just do not know what it means to be losing your sight, let alone give you ideas about how to deal with it. This sharing of information and inspiration, I feel, makes camp worthwhile, even if there were not all of the other educational opportunities going on.
Okay, you guys ready for the wave?
We have a class that we call social problems. The students call it RAP, where we identify problems that are specific to the visually handicapped and then teach our students ways to overcome and cope with those problems. We also have a class called Careers that deals with the problems of education and employment. Let's listen in to Kevin and Valerie Utter as they share some of their insights.
But that's awfully important because, they can sort of figure out and tell you, hey, this requires a lot of patience, and you don't necessarily stick with things, or if you are very good at working with other people and this kind of job works that way, you could probably be very happy in that. And they kind of give you those kind of insights that sometimes you don't even think to ask somebody. Sometimes you do, but other times you are caught up in the technicalities of the job and you don't always think about asking about those other things. And sometimes somebody else can help you see those pictures clearly. And the family sometimes can get so caught up into what they would like you to do that they can't see whether it's feasible or not feasible and some, that sort of thing.
Sometimes they see things,
Kevin and Valerie Utter are very special. They both have advanced college degrees, met at summer camp, and have just recently married. Any student that has the opportunity to spend time with either of them will be richly rewarded, as their views about blindness have been learned by living with it every day. We have numerous other classes such as typing, home mechanics, aids to daily living, and Opticon. We even have media celebrities that get their pictures taken and interviews for the local TV station. This can be fun, but it is also a little unnerving. You wouldn't know it by the way our students handle the attention, however. Another class that gets a lot of attention is the general education class. This is a class where guest speakers talk on topics that are important to the blind, such as Mr. Jerry Butters, regional librarian for the blind, talking about their wonderful Talking Books program. Or you may be interested in vocational rehabilitation and how they can help you. Mr. Phil Nissen, counselor with the Casper Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, helped with a lot of our questions. Or a little history of the Casper Mountain area by noted local historian Art Randall. Perhaps you need some legal advice regarding your handicap. We have that too in the way of Mr. Dan Wild, attorney with Wyoming Protection and Advocacy Program. I think, however, that of all our speakers, the ones that really speak to the heart are ones like Jerry Baker, my assistant director and consultant for the Department of Education. Jerry is a well-educated and professional staff member who is also partially sighted. What a great role model. As they say in the commercial, this is where the rubber meets the road.
I think everybody knows me. I hope you do. I'm the state consultant. Just like Ron is in Riverton, I'm the state consultant up at Sheridan, cover 5 counties up there with the Wyoming Services Commission of Handicapped, employing the State Department of Education. My topic today is low vision, and this concerns primarily, people that have some sight, not full sight by any means, but have enough sight that's it's enough to be useful in their everyday living activities.
We also have adaptive PE and various types of recreation on the mountain, as well as swimming in the Casper YMCA. Least you think that all we do is work. I want you to know that we also try to get special entertainment in the evenings, like Pat Patterson and the famous Red Dog Saloon players from Casper. Or the Native American dancers from the Wind River Reservation Youth Council. These young people were great. We got to dance with them and were even allowed to touch their beautiful costumes. How about Dick Keeney from the Wyoming Game and Fish Department? Or the jam session with the Wyoming Fiddlers Association. One of our very special pleasures is the opportunity of thanking the Lions for all their hard work and support to the camp. We do that on Lions Night. The program may change from year to year, but our sincere thanks and gratitude to all of the Lions of Wyoming does not diminish and grows stronger with each passing year. Without a doubt, the most fun we had on the mountain this year was putting together a float and entering it in the Natrona County Fair Parade. This was the first time our camp has ever done this, and as you can see, was greatly enjoyed by everyone. I wonder what exciting new activity will happen next year. But all good things must come to an end. And so I will close by encouraging you to contact your representative of Services for the Visually Handicapped or a member of your local Lions Club if you or someone you know might benefit from attending this camp. With that, I will let some of our campers leave you with their thoughts as they say goodbye to each other and to you.
Well, everybody, it's been fun, and God bless you one and all. Keep you in my prayers, huh?
Okay. Be back next year?
I'm going to try my best. The only way I won't come back is if I'm working.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm coming.
These ladies have been with us for the past week here at the Wyoming Lions Summer Camp for the Visually Handicapped. I'd like to talk with both of you just briefly.
I think it's great. I was very apprehensive of coming up there, but the minute I walked in, I felt right at home, and as soon as I got acclimated to all the buildings and the people, I just wouldn't have missed it for the world. I had my mind made up 30 minutes after I got here.
Help here, can you describe what helped you the most?
The ADL class in cooking helped me very much. The craft class as an old seamstress, I have found so many shorter ways and easier ways in which to do the things that I love to do the most.
You have been with us here for the past week, and we'd like to know how you feel about camp, whether or not it was helpful to you. If so, what things helped you the most? What suggestions you might have to improve or change it?
No, I was about like Maxine and my apprehension in coming here. I wavered whether to or not, but I'm glad I did. And I enjoyed all the classes that she said, and also enjoyed the social problems.
I think for anyone else around the state of Wyoming with eyesight problems, you would really strongly encourage them to participate in this camp. Is that correct?
Yes, I would.
Do you feel that way, Maxine?
Yes, very definitely.
And so, until next year, when we will see you at camp. This production was made possible by the following individuals and groups. Student body of the 1989 Lions Camp for the Visually Handicapped, Wyoming Lions Clubs, Wyoming State Department of Education, Services for the Visually Handicapped, staff of the 1989 Lions Camp for the Visually Handicapped, Alan H. Stewart Camp for the Blind Board of Directors, Riverton School District number 25, technical assistance by Mike King, volunteers who have donated their time, money, and assistance. Photography was done by Ron Warpness, narration by Ron Warpness. Services for the visually handicapped field offices are located at 144 Hathaway Building, Cheyenne, Wyoming, 82002, telephone 777-7274. 2161 Coffeen Avenue, Sheridan, Wyoming, 82801, telephone 672-6129. 205 North 5th East, Riverton, Wyoming, 82501. telephone 856-5652. 342 Amaretti, Thermopolis, Wyoming, 82443, telephone 864-2392. The Carbon Building, room 375, Rawlins, Wyoming, 82301, telephone 324-5333. 539 South Payne, Casper, Wyoming, 82609, telephone 234-9741.
Adjusting to a gradual or sudden vision loss is no easy task. The Montana Association for the Blind goes a long way in helping people deal with blindness and loss of vision, that is. News 7's Jill Rickett spent some time with those involved in the 43rd annual program and has more.
A year ago, Benny Longy couldn't have read this newspaper ad, but today, thanks to this closed-circuit TV and the orientation program that told him about the machine, Benny reads the paper every day.
When I got here last year, it was such a change for me, especially getting around, because I never did use a white cane. I never seen one of these TVs, and there's just so many little gadgets that I didn't know that were available, and now I could read my own mail, and I get around a lot better too.
This is Benny's second time to be a part of the summer orientation program for the blind, held at this dormitory on MSU's campus. He, along with 30 other blind and partially sighted adults in the 4-week program, will learn everything from computers to how to use a white cane. There's even a chance to touch up on some craft skills.
But if it won't, I'll put something else up there. And I thought maybe I could get it to stay up there, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working.
And while learning new skills is key, the program's director says forming new friendships is the most important.
There's a lot of apprehension at first in our program, understandably, and a lot of disorientation at first. Once everything falls into a routine, by the end of the program, everyone is really enjoying everything.
And enjoy they do.
Dancing. I used to like to dance quite a bit, and hadn't done any of that until I got here. And they taught lessons at here twice now, and then a few of us went out to Willie's and danced.
But for 28-year-old Terry Berger, it's more than just fun and dancing. It's new confidence and newfound hope.
Everybody I've talked to, even young and old, their outlook on life is really good. Even better than most people with sight, I found that. And it helped me have a lot better outlook on life, too.
Jill Rickett, News 7.
And I'm from Bozeman, Montana. And I have been attending the School for the Blind, and I am very, very thrilled by it. I have received so much that it's really a little hard to tell it all. Before I came to the school, I was terribly depressed because I couldn't read my mail, I couldn't write checks, I couldn't function, I couldn't cook in my kitchens. There was just so many things I could not do. And I just thought, well, if this is what life is, why go on? And then I came to this school, and I have gotten so much enthusiasm about going on and living my life to its best ability with all the things I've learned here. I can now do some reading, I can read my mail, I can take care of myself, and I've learned all of those things right here in this school to make life more pleasant for me. I don't feel like I need to ask the help of my daughter or anyone else, that I am self-sufficient now. I don't know What else you want me to say?
How are you?
Tell me what this program means to you. What do you see as its purpose?
This program, it's been an incredible couple of weeks, and let's see, what it has meant is seeing a group of people get together and learn skills and gain confidence and learn about the camaraderie that can make vision loss bearable. And it was all done with a lot of fun, and I think that was the best part of it.
And what does your class do to bolster that program?
Well, I had the privilege of teaching ADL, Activities of Daily Living, which is learning all the little tricks and techniques that can get you through every day after having lost some vision. And it's a pleasure to teach it because people can put it to use right away. As soon as they learn something, people will often go home and be able to put it to use right that day. Just the little tricks that make life just a little bit easier. Who am I?
Yes.
I'm Gretchen Good.
And where are you from?
I'm a rehabilitation teacher from Brattleboro, Vermont.